Ever since 0.8 released to the public, Scum's community has never been more divided than it is now. Looking through different platforms, whether it would be Twitter, Reddit, Steam forums, you name it, the game has truly suffered from a tremendous split in its entire community. I have already made numerous videos talking about its downside and how a complete mess Scum currently really is, but in this video I'd like to talk about something that's a lot bigger than its current shitty performance. That's right, if you for a second thought that things cannot get any worse, oh yeah, they certainly can. Recently, Gamepires joined up with Jagex. Jagex is a UK game developer and publisher that aims to support Scum's ongoing development process from this point forward. And ironically, after its shit show of an update that completely ruined its community to a certain degree, Gamepires was willing to sell Scum and what seems to be in a desperate moment to a business, notice how I said business and not a game developer at this time, to a company that now has full control over Scum's further development decisions. And I bet many of you right now still slightly confused as to why I think this is very skeptical, but just keep watching, it'll make a whole lot of sense, I promise. The games Jagex worked on in the past turned into microtransaction machines, RuneScape for instance. After RuneScape's 11-year journey, the game turned into a microtransaction process, which leads to my concern. And keep in mind, I've already warned you guys in my previous videos, stating how skeptical it was to me that they implemented a gold system into their game out of just nowhere. They changed how the fame system is not depleted while you make purchases, which is a good thing. However, the gold system is still present, which leads to my next point. We were completely fine without a gold system, and I bet if that gets taken away, we won't notice anything. But I'm sure they wouldn't do that because they have different plans for us. RuneScape was ruined due to the paywall after a paywall. As a matter of fact, RuneScape was divided a very long time ago into two different versions of the game, simply because Jagex leaned too much into the microtransaction system. What a surprise, isn't it? Now, players have full control over their money. If you're willing to spend hundreds of dollars on cosmetics, sure, go for it, that's you. The choice is yours. I personally was never the one to do it. I just think it's very stupid and just wasting money. But once again, the money is yours, you do whatever you want to do with it. That was just my 2 cents on it. But when the game favors and gives advantage to a player that decides to spend extra money on the game compared to the one who doesn't, I'm sorry, but that's a pyramid scheme bullshit that should be addressed immediately. In fact, if I had the power to cancel the game for that sole reason, I'd be willing to do it. That's a scammy, dirty business, and I don't want to support that whatsoever. RuneScape eventually offered a better armor set, better skill set for a player which was willing to spend extra money on the game, and that's just not right. Now, when 0.8 released, Scum remained on sale for a little while, which was the first sign to me that Gamepires was desperately begging for money, because they needed to pay those fixing the game. There was just way too many issues with 0.8 update. Then 2-3 weeks after 0.8 was released, they made an announcement that Jagex is stepping in and taking over the decision making for Scum. Do you see where I'm going with all of this? I've cherished and supported Scum in the past. I mean, prior to the 0.8 update, the game was in phenomenal shape. It required some polishing, of course, but we had all the vehicles that worked just fine. We didn't have the gold and fame system, we were fine. Then once the gold system was announced, and people disliked the idea of it, and begged for the change, Gamepires were so eager to say no immediately, stating that the players are just too comfortable with its current state and afraid to change, pretty much referring to the players as the problem. Now, I'm gonna say something that's gonna hurt. From a creator point of view, when you make a product and people like it, you get motivated to build on what people like. It inspires you to build on that foundation. Now, from a business perspective, sure, I put so much time and effort into this and people enjoy it, but I also want to make as much money out of this as possible because I worked for it. I deserve it. I don't care whether people like this or not. I just want money, and that is where they are. Gamepires is realizing that they're coming in pretty close to official 1 release and they want to make more money years to come. And who is going to pay for it? You or just a different company? That is, if they sell it. And guess what happened? Scum is nothing but an investment for Jagex. They don't care about how the game is doing, and most importantly the loops it had overcome to get to where it's at, before the 0.8 update that is. What they do care about is how they can make more money out of this later in the future. I think that's more a valid point for them, because once again, as I said before, this is investment and nothing more but that. And before I wrap this up, the thing that bothers me the most about all this is the fact that not many creators talk about this. There is a handful of creators that pause what they were doing and they address the current issues with Scum, and that's great. But nobody wants to talk about the microtransaction system, do they? And this is the type of thing I will never support. It's a scammy business, friends, and I just refuse to be a part of it. This was your boy Roos, and I'm out. Bye.